Hey Kenny, Lori Camp with Soul Sisters Digital Design. Thanks for giving me a call yesterday and chatting about your business. I'm shooting this video to really give you an idea of why I believe your digital presence has suffered recently and why people aren't finding you as often as they used to. So, um, really, when people are searching for things and when Google is directing people to various websites, it looks at three things. One of those is content, the second thing is backlinks, and the third is citations. And I'm going to explain all three of those things and then kind of show you what in summary, what an attack plan would be. So, content really is just the words and images on your site. Google likes to see between 1,500 and 2,000 words on the page. Really, that depends on the actual number, depends on the competition, what they're doing, and the number of keywords that you need. And so, a keyword is really anything that someone might type into Google looking for a particular service or product. For example, I went to Google and I just typed in floor removal. I wanted to see what comes up. And apparently there is not enough floor removal businesses in my area for it to generate a map pack. Sometimes there'll be a map right here first. But regardless, it's going to pull in websites that it feels are appropriate to me. And the first one it comes up with is Speedy Floor Removal. That is one that you mentioned, and so we're gonna take a look at their website as well. The next one that it came up with was bottomsup.com. And so we will look at a couple of different um, competitors, but actually I didn't pick bottoms up. I think I picked tear it up floors because that's the other one that you mentioned. But regardless, and looking at your website, I like the fact that you've got some pictures on there. Pictures are always good. I really love that you have a call to action button, which is what we call that, where you're trying to get people to request that free quote. All in all, when I plugged you into a word counter, you had about 846 words on the page. So we've got some room, right, to grow. Bottom line is we want there to be no doubt in Google's mind what it is you do. So if you were, for example, say a plumber in Stark, we want your page to say words that relate to plumber and Stark all over the place. And in your case, obviously, we want people to know that you remove floors in a dust-free way. We want there to be no doubt about that. Now, when I did look over at Speedy Floor Removal, you actually don't have that much less content than them. I think that like you were 846 words, and I think that they were a little bit more, like maybe, like 60 something words. So not that much more. The difference comes in is that they are targeting those keyword phrases, and I'll get into that in just a second. But to kind of get back to our overview, so the backlink is the next thing that we look at. All a backlink is anywhere that you find one website linking to another website via a clickable or hyperlinks text. These links act like an endorsement of your website from others, which Google uses to build trust. Basically, they want to see others vouching for you. So it's literally like a popularity contest where the person with the most backlinks wins people. So it gets those websites pointing to you. But not all links are created equal. So you really do need things that are relevant to your business and also that are powerful on their own. I will also show you how the other websites are doing compared to yours. And then citations are the last aspect. A citation really is anywhere that your business shows up, like in your name, address, and phone number, appearing in exactly the same format all over the web. Basically, they help you rank in if there is a map pack, which is really important for kind of local businesses because um, that really is like Google will favor a local business over something that provides a much more widespread kind of target area. But the citations are basically just any directory. So it can include things like Yelp. It could be Angie's List. It could be Better Business Bureau. There's a lot of other ones as well. But the idea is that your brand begins to be found by Google all over the internet. And this, like the larger your presence is, the more Google trusts you. And when Google sees you more often than your competitors, the more likely it will be to rank you above them. So once your content, backlinks, and citations, they all start to come together, and you will start to outgrow your competitors. But let's take a look. I told you I'd take a look at where your website found in relation to the things that we just kind of talked over. So, oh, and by the way, I tried to search for your Google business page even directly, like Floor Busters of Central Florida, LLC, Gainesville, Florida. And I did not get your Google business page. I got Speedy Floor Removals business page. So that tells me that they're either the Google may have removed your listing or there is some issue there, because especially by me putting that stuff in specifically, you should have come up. I know you mentioned that previous, your previous Google business pages have been set up with potentially some kind of mailbox or post office box. Google doesn't like those. They used to be sufficient. They don't do those anymore, and so they may have removed them. So that's definitely something we need to look at. But getting back to kind of how you and your competitors fare in these two things. So I use a tool called RFs, which allows me to kind of examine the traffic coming in and the different, like how well your website is working and doing its job. So when I pull up dustfreefloorbusters.com, I can see that you're actually getting one unique visitor per month on average. You're being found for 40 different keywords. And then when I look at this UR and DR, what these really do is it's a way of measuring trust and power when it comes to your backlink profile. So the UR is really kind of how much does Google trust you on a scale of 0 to 100. And the DR is how powerful are you on a scale of 0 to 100. And so right now you're kind of sitting at a 17 on that trust rating and an 8 on the power rating. So let's take a look at Dustless floor removal. Like I mentioned, you don't have that much less content than them, so that's, but where they're beating you is in the keywords that they're using. And because they are targeting and they are more powerful than you are, they're getting 797 unique visitors per month on average. That's a huge difference. And so let's dig into their keywords a little bit. So that floor removal, that search term that I used for, no wonder they showed up at the top because they are actually number 2. They are ranked number 2 for that keyword, which means that nationwide, like they come in second. That term is actually being searched 400 times per month. And because they are number 2 in ranking, they're getting 28 of those visitors are coming to them. And I don't know kind of what your margins are, but I imagine if you were to get 28 more people finding you off of one search term, that would generate some pretty decent revenue. And there are also many more keywords that we can use to generate more traffic and more leads. But getting back to the trust rating as well. So as I mentioned, these are on scales of 0 to 100. So their trust rating is 20. It's a little bit more than yours. Where they're beating you, though, also is the power. Like you were on 8 on the power kind of scale, and they are at 18. So they're definitely like we need to work on beating them. The other person I did look at for you was the Tear It Up floor removal. Their website looks really good. They have a little bit more content, probably about the same actually. But visually, their site, I think it was probably the best. But they are not quite there yet when it comes to kind of the keywords and the traffic. They are being found for 64 keywords, but they're still generating more traffic right now than you are at 14 average visitors per month. Their trust rating and power rating, though, those are less. So I think we could overtake them pretty easily. Anyway, this kind of stuff, this is what I do for a living. So I hope this video is helpful in kind of giving you an idea about why you're probably not getting the customers that you used to, because your website is not generating that traffic in relation to your competitors. And I think that your Google business pages are not there at all. So those are some key things. We need to get all of that kind of stuff working together, and your presence as a whole optimized for that search engine, Google and other search engines, so that people can find you. So I will reach out after you get a chance to take a look at this, and we'll see if we can get together and come up with a real attack plan for you and get you above those other people. But if you could maybe leave me one line of feedback on this video, I like these to be helpful, and if there's something that I could do better, always up for that. So thanks so much for your time.